Okay. Got my face. Let's see. I think we're good. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a late night writing session. I needed to get some work done, so I made this so that we could get some work done. So we're going to start with, let me present. Allow the screen. Share. There we go. Okay. Let's get a timer going for 5 minutes. Let me make it bigger. No. All right. Let's start with a 5-minute timer. I'm going to mute myself because I do not have free music. So let's get writing. Okay. Finished a 25-minute sprint. I am currently working on revision of a sci-fi novel, and I'm using this new Opus writer, which you cannot see because I don't know if you can see it, but this system is called Opus Writer, and I'm just starting to use it. So we'll see how well it does. But it has these tabs at the bottom. Let me turn the banner off. Oops. There we go. Back to comments. Okay, so it has, I gotta move. It has pretty much like every process of the writing process that you need in one system. I learned about this program from Anessa. Anessa Sage, I think is her name. She's a writer, indie/hybrid. I guess she's a hybrid author. She has a channel on YouTube, and she was talking about this program, and it wasn't too expensive, so I thought I would dive in and see if I liked it. So it has these tabs at the bottom. The first tab is for planning, and so you have sections up here that are in your planning section. So you have your plot, and you can add in different plotting tools. You can add in beat sheets. So this is the 4-act structure that I just loaded this template in, and then I can go through and write in my description for the hook, the inciting incident, the first plot point, the complication, the first pinch point. I can add in all of those summaries for the beats, and then on the side you can add in different plot tools like brainstorming and a story compass. And then in this browse plugin store, there are additional tools that you can put in. It also has a wiki, I think is how you say it. And so you can create your first entry, and this is for essentially like series. And I don't potentially know if this book that I'm working on right now is going to be a series or not, but it could be. So I just have that over there if I need to, and I can start adding to it. And then there is a character section, and then you just add in a character bio, backstory, your side characters. If you like to do the interview type of character sheet, and then like your enneagram types and psychological flaws, you can do that. I haven't actually entered any of my characters in yet. Like I said, I just started using this at the beginning of June, and so far I'm liking it, but there's a lot to learn. And I know the creator of this, his name is Wesley, and he's very nice. He responds to emails very quickly. He said that he's planning on doing some deep dives into this program, and so he'll have YouTube videos up on how to do some of this stuff. But then you have setting, and again, you can add in a setting bio. There's minor locations, and then there's additional stuff. And then canon is like magic systems and languages and historical, if you have a codex, legends, your technology, your creatures, your supernatural, your gods, whatever. So that has stuff. And then if you want to do an outline, since I already have my story in this outline, it has 3 different types. You can do a sketch, and so it's kind of like vertical, I guess. And then you can do a grid, and so this is like Scrivener, if you have Scrivener, or Dabble has this. So up here you would put in the notes for like a thread. So if this has like a romance subplot, which it does, I would put in here if I know how to operate it. It lets me change. Oh. I guess I just need to like change this romance subplot. And then so in chapter 2, we learn more about Evie's dead husband. In this chapter, I think it's chapter 5. And this is, I don't know how to spell my character's name. Enters as new bodyguard. And so that's kind of how you do this grid. And then I don't know how many you can have, but probably unlimited number of columns. And then you just go down and put in all the information. And so if you're like a heavy plotter, this is really cool. And then it has this column, and then you can go in. And so the plot beat, chapter 1, you can select I put in the 4 act. And so you select the plot line and then the beat, which would be the hook. So that's how the outline works. And then the visualization, I can't talk. But this one is cool because it has like a nested timeline, or if your story takes place in a traditional timeline, you can do a mind map or sticky notes. And I like to do relationship I don't know what they're called, but it's just like the main character, and then you draw out arrows to everyone they're connected with, and then you draw arrows to like, I think it's in here. I'm not sure. It's not persona. I'm not sure. I'll have to like try to remember it. But you can do the different visualizations here. And then you have a writing tab, and this is where you actually draft your manuscript. And so over here you have 3 up here: manuscript, riffs, and promise tracker. And so the riffs, I'm not exactly sure what they are, but the definition in here is riffs are short writing prompts to loosen up and get the words flowing. And then promise trackers are threads. So like if you introduce like a certain like foreshadow in chapter 1 about the enemy, then you can like make sure that you pay off at the end for that enemy. So I really like the promise tracker, and I think it would come in handy, especially for long series. because my main series is currently 4 books. And so having that over the 4 books would be great. I'm just a little bit too far into that series to really use it now, but planning out a new series, I think it would come in really handy. And so, okay. So then you have your just normal, I don't know what are these called, but you can bold, italicize, and underline, and then you have your justification stuff. And then on this side here, you have your different chapters, and up here you have a plus sign, and you can add in a new chapter, a new scene, a new prologue, or a new epilogue. And then my default is for chapter. I just write in chapters. And then you can drag and drop, and it will change chapter 1 to chapter 2. But I don't want to do that. And then you have this chapter settings over here, and you can change the chapter type, or you can put in a card. I usually use purple for all my main characters. So this is an EV chapter. Actually, all these are EV chapters because this entire book is one point of view. And then down here, you can move it to the stash. So if you move it to the stash, you can get it later, or you can delete the chapter. And I'm pretty sure if you delete it, it deletes forever, which is why I've been just moving stuff to the stash just in case I change my mind. So that's what's on this left side here. And so in the middle is your writing, and you can have it set, let's see, spell check is on. You also have a typewriter mode. That's where when you're typing, it stays in the middle. You can do a solo mode, and you can split your screen if you want. Oh, I made it big. Now I need to get out of it. How do I get out of this window? Exit. Okay. Turn that off. And then on this right hand is like your sidecar is what it's called. And so you have just chapter notes. You can add notes about this. These are quick notes that you can add when you're writing. And you do this by highlighting it and just like double tapping the space bar, and it says quick note for lecture. And then you would just add your note. Then you have your outline. You can bring your outline up either in the sketch for chapter 1 or the grids to see all your subplots, or you have your column, which is, basically all of that together. And then you have your promise tracker over here. You have any change log that's needed. And then you have your wiki. And so that's what the writing tab is. But my dog wants to go outside, so we are going to do another 25-minute sprint. I'm going to take my dog outside, and then I'll get back to editing where I left off, which I believe was chapter 9. Oh, I'm in the wrong screen. That's why. Yeah. I'm on chapter 9, which is one of my favorite chapters. So we're going to, let's mute and Okay. So now that we did a sprint, the next section in Opus Writer is the edit section. And again, this has different tabs up top. So the inspect tab is kind of functions like Pro Writing Aid. So you have the different things over on the sidecar here. So you have your dialogue. You can highlight all the dialogue. You can do fancy tags. Then word choice, you have different to be verbs, do nothing. And then if you check these, they show up in your manuscript, different colors. And so you can kind of see, do I need these words? How can I change the sentence to make it a better prose? Which is what I'm doing right now in my editing. And then it also has a dialogue intensity thing. So just like some Pro Writing Aid. I know they have like different types of like analysis that you can do. There's also a tab for prose. And so this is the science fiction. And then you can set your intended tension. And mine is rising. And so it detected the tension at rising. And so it also tells me that I have an average of 22 words per paragraph, and it keeps the pace snappy. And then up here you have tension, then you have readability, says that it's easy reading grade. And then you have the structure, and then you have pacing, which is, mine says it's fast. And then you have, this is a new tab that just came with one of the updates in an external edits. So if you had sent your manuscript to an editor and they had sent it back with comments for you to review, you can import that document here. And then feedback uses AI. And so you can generate feedback. You can do like a beta read. And it works through a type of AI that OpenAI, I believe. And so you fetch the current pricing and it tells you what the current price is and how many tokens that it would take for a beta read to look at your whole manuscript. But I haven't set up the AI feature yet. You can use AI in this program or you don't have to use it. So I don't plan on using it at this moment. And then polish, again, the polish tab, it does some line editing and some proofreading, and it is an AI polish, and I haven't set that up. So, and then revisions is a new tab that it's new. I don't know exactly. So I'm not sure how to use this tab yet, so we'll figure that out. But then the next tab at the bottom is the Publish tab. And so this tab looks like Vellum or Atticus. And you can set it up different ways. Like it has different ways you can set up the chapter. It's not like an extensive list, but you can also import styles, I believe. And so you can check it, what your book would look like on a phone, an e-reader, or a tablet. And then you have up here the different ways you can export it. So you export it as like a submission that would go to a literary agent if you're wanting to be traditionally published. So you can do that. Or if you're wanting to send it to critique partners, it will also do that. And then, or if you were going to post it online, maybe to a Substack, you could do it that way. And then also there's an ARC one. And I believe when you do the ARC setting, it actually says that it's an advanced reader, and it converts it to an EPUB. And then if you do the ebook function, it will do 3 EPUBs, one for Apple Books, Kobo, and Ingram Spark. And then you have your paperback, your hardcover, and then it will do a audio script, an audiobook script if you plan to get your audiobook. If you plan to do that, I don't have any plans to do that. And so up here is where you change the metadata. So I would need to add my name as the author of this work. And so now my name's set at the top and it has legacy. And then you just click whichever one you're exporting, and then you select the format and it will export it. And then at the bottom, it tells you if it's exported or not. Then the last section in this system is the manage. And this one is for series. So you have your series dashboard, which will show all your books. So this is legacy. If it had a book 2, I would add a book here. And then you have your series vault, which has your list of characters, your list of settings, and possibly your magic system. Then your series wiki, which you could search in your wiki for stuff if you can't remember. Then your series search, you can search terms in your manuscript in your series throughout all books. And then your series continuity, yeah, I think I said that right. This, I believe, is semi AI, that it says if you have any conflicts, possibly like a character name change or definitions consistent. And so that'll come up here. And then your C tracker are like the promises. And so it will kind of track all your promises and see and make sure that all the seeds actually grew to the promise that you are wanting it to be. So this is very cool. And so how you function with these different books, you add a book. And so now we're on book 2, and I don't have a cover, but we'll see what that is. Oh yeah, that was something I downloaded from ChatGPT as like a inspiration mood thing. So here it says book 2. We're in the draft phase. There's 0 words. So now if you're on book 2 and you go to write, you see that we have no chapters here. And so, but if you go back to manage and you click on book 1 and you go to write, you can see that all the chapters that I had originally are still here. And so this is kind of why I like this system. And also, I currently don't have Atticus or Vellum. One of my friends is doing the formatting for me. So this piece of it, this formatting and publishing to EPUB and stuff for submission, is something that I needed anyway. And not that my friend is doing a lovely job, but she is busy. We are all busy. And so I don't want to like have her do it forever. So this is something that I'm looking forward to using, but this this part is awesome. And so I'm very excited about what the system can do and how it will help me finish books and make sure that all my promises are kept in the series as you go along each book. So anyway, I will put the link to Opus Writer down in the description or in a comment after this live is over. But if you're interested with it, you can go and get a free trial for 30 days, I believe. And then if you buy it before June 22nd, you get the founder rate, which is very cheap and very, very affordable for this system. So I will leave that down in the link for you. And I thank you for jumping on this stream with me. I did get quite a bit of editing done, which basically was just looking for the word just that I use way too much in my stories and I needed to delete out. That is exactly what I did tonight with you guys. And I'm almost to the end of the 60 chapters. So I've got about, I think, 20 more to do that with. And then I will be going back through and finding other words that I use way too often in my manuscripts. But thank you for joining with me and have a lovely night. Bye.